strength, expectation versus reality. Now this graph here that we see is what we would love things to look like, right? We see, all right, let's call that weight on the left at 100 kilos, and then down the bottom is our weeks of the year, right? And as you can see, things are going up in a nice linear fashion. If only it was that easy though, okay? If it was, we'd all be fucking lifting cars like this fella, all jacked, progressive overload would never stop, and we would just be that strong. It is ridiculous. This is what brilliant training actually looks like though. As you can see here, weight goes up and then we pull back. Weight goes up and we pull back. Things get higher and we pull back, right? If we break this down into training programs, we start the first training block at 100, we build things up. It looks like it's maybe going, I don't know, 115, 117 there, whatever. And then we end up deloading, and then we're starting the next block higher than we did in the previous one, building things up, gets more close to 120 or so. Next block we start again a little bit heavier, but we don't start at our max, build things up, and then we end up further than the previous. I'll move my head out of the way so you can see that. So this is what great training, great strength training actually looks like. But unfortunately, I've got to let you know about what can actually happen as well. All right, the first 3 programs really good, but then towards the last set, when we went heavy, we ended up incurring an injury, a minor tear in something. All right, so we had to dial the weight right back. Unfortunately, as you can see there, we're down to 80, even though before we were maxing out at over 120s. All right, we end up building things up, and it takes us a couple of program blocks to actually get back to where we were before, which, you know, could be a few months. All right, but we do have the comeback, and we end up eventually hitting some PBs. So at the end of the day, you've just got to soldier on. You've got to expect that this is part of the journey, and things aren't going to be in a linear path of progression like what we saw in the first slide. But over time, you know, you're persistent. We end up making some good progress, some good PBs. The line of best fit, you know, things go up, things go down, but as long as you're consistent with things and over time you're getting better, that's all that matters. And if we do draw a line of best fit through that graph that we see there, at the end of the day, we are going up. There is progress being made. And this is just the reality of how training might be sometimes. So I need to mentally prepare you for that and to put in the work no matter what. And you can definitely come back from it. Me, myself, I've come back from a million different things, and every time I come back stronger. But it's just a matter of, are you willing to put the work in? Are you willing to stay consistent, to keep things going? You got to take the good times with the bad, and yeah, be ready for that on this journey. And that's my words of wisdom. Hang around whilst following the right protocols, which you are. You just need to be consistent long enough, and you'll get back to where you were before if anything happens. All right, let's go to the next module.